Poof! Did that work? I think it worked. Ahoy Buccaneers and Buccarinas! My name is Captain Yugioh, and jeez Louise, they've already got some new cards to talk about here in Hearthstone. That didn't take long. I mean, now that we've got the Galakrond's Awakening adventure set coming out, like, we get to talk about some of the new cards, and some people have already talked about some of these cards, obviously, but now I gotta get my 2 cents on it, like, stuff like Chaosgazer. It's a Warlock minion, 3 mana, 4/3, pretty good stat line, Demon, works out with Galakrond and the like, but mainly the big appeal on this guy is that he's got a battle cry that basically takes a card from your opponent's hand and says, you gotta play this card, and if you don't play it, you'll lose it. Poof. Gone. Forever. This is actually pretty important that it says playable card, because if it didn't say playable card, well then you could easily get your opponent with like a 10 cost card when they have like, I don't know, 3 mana, and they'd be like, oh, well I can't play this card, but at least it's okay in my hand. And no, there goes my Calicos. No. So basically it's just kind of a force of, it's literally forcing the opponent into doing something that they may not want to do, especially if it's a combo deck. I don't think combo decks are particularly like necessary this day and age, but you can definitely put your opponent into a lot of awkward positions where it's kind of like, okay, kind of have to play this card. If I don't play this card, I'm going to lose this card. Is this card optimal to play? Is it not? It ends up opening up a lot of doors for Warlock. So, needless to say, I think I'm going to be annoyed with you, mister. Pretty sure I'm going to be annoyed by this guy. Just saying. Just saying. And then there's the new Priest spell, Dark Prophecy, 3 mana. Discover a 2-cost minion, and then give it +3 health. So it's kind of like, well, gee, I mean, you could get like a Tovir Warden, potentially. That's a 2 mana, 2/6 with Taunt. The only bad part is that it deals 3 damage to itself, but hey, if you give it 3 health, then it's like, well, hey, that's a 2 mana, 2/9 Taunt. That makes it itself a 2/6, which is still really, really, really good. But there are a ton of like 2-cost minions that are not at that level, certainly stat-wise. So it's kind of like, I think a lot of the times, a 2-cost minion is often somewhere around, like, a good 2-cost minion is like 2/2, I think. So you're looking at potentially getting, like, Discover a 2/5. And that's pretty good, honestly. Like, Discover a 2 mana 2/5 minion. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen all the time. That's pretty decent most of the time, I would say. I'm just kind of like throwing my thoughts out there. I mean, an extra 3, like, you cannot look at the extra 3 health and be like, man, 3 health, who wants that? You know, 3 health, that's nothing. I got like 12 different minions on board, you know, 3 health, can't make me lose minions over that. 3 health, nuts. And then there's Shotbot, which is for Paladins. It's a 2 mana 2/2. Hey, check that out. But then it's also got like this Reborn thing, so it's kind of like a shielded mini-bot, but now it's a shot bot. So it's like an offensive sort of version of it, but it still kind of has like the same, you know, drawbacks to the regular shielded mini-bot, you know, where it's like, it takes a hit, and then it's done. It basically, it's alright, I think. It'll definitely see play in Mech Paladin, because that's a thing, kind of. I mean, Paladin likes running a lot of mech stuff, or aggressive Paladin stuff. Like, I think there's just a Mech Paladin actually hanging around these days, where it's just like, it's a focus on like some sort of sheer aggression, and you're just drawing mechs, and you're playing Galvanizer, and it's like that, what, it's that 2 mana, is it 2 mana or is it 3 mana? It's the one that summons like a couple of little 1/1s, but gives all your other mechs +1 attack. That's a thing. So, needless to say, shielded mini-bot, excuse me, Shotbot, the new and improved shielded mini-bot with Reborn, which works into the quest too, actually. That actually, it's like, there's a lot of stuff that it's like, there's a lot of synergies with this guy, isn't there? So, yeah, I mean, he'll definitely see some play. Why wouldn't he? He's pretty good. He's shielded mini-bot. Part 2. Not too shabby. But let's be honest, we're not here to talk about any of these other minions. They're just small fry. The one thing we're here to talk about is the big guy. That's right, the amazing Reno. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's really what we're talking about, okay? 10 mana hero card, which kind of implies, in my opinion, that the League of Explorers are going to get their own little hero cards. That's going to be exciting. I don't know what Brand's is going to be. I don't know what Elise's is going to be. I don't know what Sir Finley's is possibly. I don't even know where you'd start with Sir Finley's, because, I mean, what is Paladin these days? But who knows? But with Reno, his battle cry just makes every minion disappear. And not like silence and destroy and get rid of. No, just removes them from the game. Just period. Just Thanos snaps them out of existence. That's basically Reno right there. He's basically got the Infinity Gauntlet and he's going. That's Reno in a nutshell. And then he's got this hero power, which, like, it didn't quite get revealed when he was initially revealed, but then it later got leaked out that this is a hero power where it's like, at the start of your turn, cast a random spell. And I'm looking at that like, that has a lot of high roll potential, but it also has some very low things. Like, we're talking like, you could be getting like Twisting Nether, Plague of Death, anything can happen in Wild. Just saying, there's like a lot of these like different things that can happen about it. You could get Discover a 6-cost minion, and like play 2 copies of it. You could get, I don't know, Plague of Flames. I don't know, there's so many different cards you could just suddenly throw out, but you could get a Counter Spell Secret, an Explosive Trap, a Freezing Trap, cast a random secret, summon a 5/5 with Rush. But then, you've also got stuff that's like, give minions in your hand that have Taunt +2/+2. Yeah, that's definitely what we wanted. And then you've got like Arcane Missiles, or it's like, I'm gonna deal 3 damage randomly amongst all enemies. I've got Frostbolt, but it hits me in the face. So, needless to say, there's a lot of risk, I feel like, with that kind of a hero power. I don't know, but then again, you're removing all the minions on the board, so it's like, it's kind of a give and take kind of thing at this point. So, I don't really know. And these are just like some of the first cards revealed. I mean, we've still got like so many things to show up. Like, every class seems to be getting at least 3 cards. There's 4 neutral cards for like everybody, and then I think all of the good guy classes get a hero card, because there seems to be a 4th card in each class on that list so far, but don't know where that's gonna go. Hey guys, really fast before I put this video up, I just wanted to let you know that there were a couple of more cards that came out, so I figured I'd just run through those really fast here at the end, and just kind of make sure I'm caught up on things before next week rolls around. So, we've got, next is Ring Guardian, 7 mana, 6/8, Druid Beast Minion, with Taunt and Reborn, and it can't be the target of spells or hero powers. Seems like a pretty good card. I think it'll probably fit into that really big, rampy deck in Druid where they just want to play some really giant minions. It is Dragon Druid, so it doesn't work so... It's not a dragon, so it doesn't work with the Fizzle, Bang, Root, Lady, Incubators, to 11 girl, but otherwise I feel like this is a pretty big, solid minion otherwise. And I think there's going to be a spot in some very big Druid deck that wants to play this. So, I think that's pretty good. That's just me, though. Let's see, what? They've also got 2 mana Air Raid, 2 mana Paladin spell with Twin Spell, summons 2 1/1 Silverhand Recruits with Taunt. Pretty good card if you want to play an aggressive deck and just wants to play out a bunch of minions. Also, could be pretty decent in Paladin, since that just kind of provides it with a couple of minions, a couple of little blockers that your opponent has to deal with. They're not very strong, so I don't think it's going to be like meta warping or anything, but it's decent support. I don't know, maybe there's going to be a new token-based Paladin deck that comes roaming around. Who knows? I don't, but that's a thing. Then there's Aeon Reaver, a 6 mana 4/4 Priest Dragon minion with Battlecry, deal damage to a minion equal to that minion's attack, or equal to its attack is what the phrasing is. But pretty much just kills off a minion pretty easily. Could be really good for very high attack targets with not a lot of health. or maybe you just run a couple of minions into something and then play Aeon Reaver to finish it off. And yeah, I think that's a pretty decent removal thing for Priest. As if Priest needed more removal things. But then, we've got this really big card, this new legendary neutral minion, Grand Lecky. I think that's how you pronounce that. Sounds about right. So it's a 4-mana 2/3 that every time you play a lackey, you get to add another lackey to your hand. There's a lot of lackey generators within the League of Evil classes, and this guy pretty much is just another lackey generator on top of those lackey generators. My immediate thought was actually to play this into like Warlock or something. So you play like Dakan, so all of your lackeys become 4/4s, and then you play this along with a couple of lackeys, and then bam, suddenly you've got like your lackey value back essentially, and you've got like 1-mana 4/4s going on for the rest of the game. So that's pretty good. At that point though, it's a little bit high risk, high reward, because then, you know, there's a lot of things that can remove a 3 health minion at that point. But hey, that's the risk, right? That's the risk. So that's pretty much just a quick rundown of all those things. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out in the GALAKROND Awakening. First chapter opens up next week, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all pans out. I don't know if they're gonna reveal all of the cards that you're gonna see throughout the course of the adventure by the time next week rolls around, or if we're just gonna kind of like see what happens. And if what happens, it happens. So hey, definitely excited. Chapter 1 is next week. I believe next Thursday, actually. Is it the 21st? 21st. When's the 21st? What's the day? Oh, jeez. This is just like... Oh. This is what happens when you end up on a ship. You don't learn numbers or anything. Like, nobody tells you about numbers on the ship. Wait a minute, Yugioh! Damn you!